Front row. Mid row.
All right, we'll call our September 22nd meeting of redevelopment commission to order. Call roll, please. Amy,
Mike Maxwell,
here.
Lindsay Cuneo, present. Brian Donahue,
Here.
Penny Stevens, barely here. Amy McCurry is here, along with, it looks like, attorney Sydney Darnell, Julie, and Wong.
Looks like we have a warrant.
Nice.
We'll move on. You should have had the minutes in your hand or pocket or packet. Have any corrections or additions to the minutes?
Now, do you need to add that resolution number in there?
Yes. We have,
Did you put that? We'll have it
I don't.
for, this purpose.
Well,
I don't know if we need to add it to the minutes.
that's what I was thinking, as long as, but I don't know for each one, like if I missed it. Do we have any previously? I don't think so. Okay.
25001.
Okay. I make a motion to accept them.
Do we have a second? We have a motion for approve the minutes. We have the five in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Nay. Favor. And it's passed. Old business. Oh, no, CED.
Roblin's paid. He came today.
Let me give you an update.
Please.
Are you doing bills?
1291.25 for bills.
You gotta do bills first.
Need a motion to approve that CED bill.
I'll make the motion to approve and pay the bill.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, the CED bill is approved. 1291.25. Old business, the business park update.
Thanks. Before Rob speaks,
Okay.
we have a project or projects that are sensitive to Pipe Creek, I guess is the way to put it. So should we need it, we want to use Specialty Earth Sciences LLC to do an evaluation for $5,430 on the capacity of the creek, I guess is how I'll put it. If Rob wants to say more about it, he can, but we got some confidentiality issues too, so.
So for clarity, I guess there's a couple thoughts. This is a project we've been working, and they've asked some specific questions about discharge, the wastewater that eventually ends up in Pine Creek. And we've worked a lot of projects. That's something that we haven't specifically addressed before, and it's beyond the scope of just making phone calls to verify what we can do. We're gonna need to get a little bit of engineering done. So Alan reached out to a firm that you've done business with to get some pricing put together. In the event that we need to move forward, we have the ability to do that. There's a few other hurdles we're trying to clear through NDOT to start, or IDEM to start with, to see if we can circumvent, not have to spend any money at this point. But they've got some very specific questions. So I don't know how that's gonna come out. With the meeting coming up, he's suggesting we throw it on the agenda, so that's what that's for.
So it's not necessary you have to spend the money, or you possibly must.
Possibly, but that way we don't have to come back and ask for it and delay our time and have to meet again. So we wouldn't,
Bring have to have it done by if they're.
they're waiting on some responses, and there's some modeling that has to be done. So it's a fairly large project. It will play out over a period of time, so we're not up against the gun today to have the answer. But we think we've vetted it fairly well, and think it's a great company, try to partner with the community, so.
This is probably information we could use for another project too, if this one didn't go through. It'd be good to have.
Well, it's
Or is it?
it is peculiar that Cecil, which does your work, Whitaker, that does your engineering. It's a question that we've not been asked, and we're kind of surprised because it does impact the discharge from the wastewater plant that is affiliated with what the effluent does. So those are things that we're trying to, I think it would be helpful to have. I'm kind of surprised we haven't actually been asked that specific question
Yeah.
before, because we've had some fairly large projects look. So That's what we're hoping NDOT will help us out, so we don't have to spend the phone.
And so this project, you can't tell us what it's for, is that?
It is a production plant that has a fairly heavy amount of water usage. So that's what we're looking at is how do we handle the wastewater discharge and how is it recognized as it goes into stream? So it's more of a engineering, hydrology, and some chemical evaluation. It's kind of a complex question, maybe why we've not been asked this specifically. But as far as the rest, we'll have to keep it fairly general right now, but it is very large.
Are they taking all the acreage or do you know?
No, it'd probably be a couple hundred acres. So probably, I think it was 200 to 300 jobs. So it would be a great project.
Be good info to have regardless too, so. To have it.
Yeah. Cecil was at a disadvantage. He was in Yellowstone without coverage. So with him back, we may be able to work something out, but we decided to go ahead and throw it on the agenda in the event that we have to bring in our engineering. Group.
So you need a motion to accept this?
Yes, we do. Oh, go ahead.
With a caveat of that, we'll put an addendum here. This is a professional service contract. Service contracts in Indiana have to have the non-discrimination and the E-Verify language. This one doesn't have it, so we'll just have to put that in as kind of an addendum to it.
So you would get that and give that to Rob or give it to
To
Alan?
Alan.
Okay.
I can ask Corey for it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you said non-discrimination and
E-Verify.
thank you.
So we get a vote on the proposal for the preliminary environmental.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll make the second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Proposal is accepted as presented by Mr. Moore.
Signs have been ordered on the project, the site out there to replace the one that was blown down, and they're gonna work up the pre-post scenario so they don't, call before they dig. And hopefully we'll get those installed in the next couple of weeks. And we had movement on property owners. I think this week we're expecting probably 300 or more acres to come in on top of the 100 plus that we have. So we're moving in the right direction
On about the options.
on the major options, yeah. And those folks would be coming in under the idea of the annexation, working through a 5-year period with them, trying to get the development. Then if it doesn't develop, it reverts back out in the county.
How long are those options for?
These will be for 5 years to cover that period of time
Oh,
that
there you go.
that special legislation allows for us.
So what you have under option are 5 years?
It would be, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, that sounds good.
In this particular case, because we wanted to coincide with the legislation and be able to help us get an endpoint if we don't get the development, to be able to have an exit strategy that works for them.
Okay, amen.
Any other questions on?
I just got a comment on that. I think there's a misnomer in community that people feel that the city owns all that property out there right now. And so
That would be super nice.
it would be fantastic, but we don't. So I think, as community should know, we don't physically own that property. The city does not own. We're just, what he's referring to as options out there. So whoever's listening out there in TV land.
Okay.
So I just want to make that statement. Because, yeah, I think there's some confusion on that in the public side.
Okay. Any other questions?
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Financial update. Do you have anything else to add to that? Okay. The business park update, we just got that from Rob. So, property bids.
Yeah, so we reviewed it and we sent in a recommendation. We reviewed both bids. The highest and best bid was our houses.
Our house builders.
Our house builders at 4,200 for the property. So it's our recommendation that you award that property to our house builders.
Like to make a motion to accept that?
A second.
Motion to accept those bids. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, that motion is passed. Accept that bid for $4,200.
Can I ask a question on that?
No.
What if I submit it in writing? How does said properties get into RDC? How did that get into our hands?
I don't know how this property got into your hands, but there's several different ways in which it can get into your hands. Sometimes there's a donation of property. So somebody has the property, can't do it, can't redevelop it, doesn't have the money to really get into it and doesn't want to keep paying taxes on it, so then they donate that stuff over. There are times where a redevelopment commission can go in by eminent domain to take a property for a specific purpose that redevelopment commission may have that benefits a public use type situation. So you can go out and purchase things if something is on a tax rolls.
That's what's my question.
It was part of the blight. There was a house that was torn down on it years ago, so the different lots that we still have available through RDC, most of them used to have a house on the property, and several years
It's a
ago.
blight elimination
it was a blight
process.
elimination program, yes.
And then that flipped into RDC because the city doesn't necessarily hold RDC owns it. Yes.
That part I can't answer, but I.
This one, it looks like it was the RDC. So what happens in situations like that is, my guess is the funding for the blight elimination program came through redevelopment dollars. And so the cost for the cleanup of that property probably came out of redevelopment dollars. You get your
Okay.
on there, and then someone sells the property tax sale, you get the property in exchange on our tax certificate. As opposed to the tax.
There's a state grant to purchase and demo this property.
I think I remember
They
that.
have conditions, how long you had to hold stuff like that for you to dispose of.
Can RDC go to a tax sale and purchase? There's a tax sale coming up next month, October. Can we go put the tax certificate, I guess?
It depends.
How are you gonna say that?
You have, if you're using allocation dollars, so TIF dollars, it has to be tied to the benefit of that TIF district. That's the only time you can use TIF dollars. Now that runs into the problem of,
Our TIF districts everywhere. I was trying to plot that out.
I cannot put a geographic area.
It's not. So we need to define our TIF area.
Yes. And that's,
Implement.
as you were talking, as we're gonna move to is, I
Okay.
think that is the next step of sitting down and you can have more than one allocation area.
Okay.
So you can say, well, we're gonna call this the Alexandria North allocation area. So you take that property over there on the north side of the state road, over by the McDonald's type thing, because there's one there. And my guess is what you would want to do is do a little bit broader than that.
Yep.
As you come down this thoroughfare, is it 9? You can say, call that like the Alexandria State Highway 9 allocation area, and then just capture a bunch there, or the Alexandria South, or the downtown Alexandria allocation area, and set them up separately. Now, you're going to need to account for each separate allocation area because you'll capture the increment that comes in, so the growth in the tax revenue, and that has to remain tied to the downtown allocation area or the north allocation area. And you can use those funds for the benefit of those allocation areas.
So really, each area has its own process to go through to develop it. So really, as a board, we should decide what area we want to start with first, because it's a process. What is it? So,
It's a process, and it's where do you
Where do we
think
want to
the growth is
start?
gonna come that you would have an impact?
because
When
when
we start with the map.
so where would you start with, okay, let's capture the area that's got the most potential for growth is where you would start. And you've already, I'm sure we got something because we got it everywhere. And then that would start. Okay. Anybody have any thoughts? I guess maybe this is.
How many allegation points would you see for a town this size?
It all depends upon really how the town is set up.
Yeah.
And one of the things about Alexandria is you're cut up by state roads in the way that the city has developed itself with different properties. And so I could see several different allocation areas here. you know,
You just
in,
have a big allocation area.
well, the only way to do it, you can say, okay, the entirety of the city of Alexandria is our allocation area. My guess at that point is you're gonna have the schools coming and being
Sure.
a little bit more upset.
I
Because
think so.
now we're designating an area that is larger than what we're really targeting to implement the growth and where we're gonna invest those dollars to see the growth.
Carry that money away.
And,
Sure.
and feel like you're taking some of that increment away.
Sure.
And so that's why it's better situated to have those areas where it makes sense that if I raise $100,000 out of this increment area, that I can put it into this property right next to it to help that get development and
Gotcha.
grow.
Like
As a-
was
Right.
considering what the golf course has done,
Yeah,
like the whole, the,
They don't match what we could put in, I mean, what can stay in an increment area, I mean, dollar wise.
It's what is the growth? So you capture that increment. And as soon as you take debt on that, that starts a 25-year clock. So,
25. So as a board, we should get together and decide where we want to target first, yes.
and one of the things that I was trying to do, and I ended up with like 20 different sheets of paper. I was trying to piece together a map, because if I got a map big enough for Alexandria, or that included all of Alexandria, all the parcels were like this big.
So that wasn't just me that had the same problem.
So, you know, we can talk to services team, because we've gotten them on big poster boards, so maybe that will help. But if I capture something and try and put it on that, and then mark where it is now,
Yeah,
and then kind of use that as the guiding principle for how you want to organize it.
So are we sure we know how many of those we had?
I know how many that the state is recognizing, and that that is through Gateway that says you have and you should be collecting money.
it's on, yeah, I looked it up the other day. When I try to do the same thing, it's like, I don't, it has the pull up gateway, got all the parcel number city there. So I was like, okay, sweet, I'll just go to the, whatever has the site, and I put that out there, and it's like, I need a sheet as big as this room, because the parcel numbers are this long and the buildings are this big on them. But it would be nice to say,
And they're so diverse in where they're located. I mean, literally, you have one at the very north part of the city, across the state highway from where the McDonald's
But
is.
once we get to that point, we know all that stuff. Somehow we gotta connect them.
Well, you don't have to connect all of them. They can be separate. So they don't have to be, like, if they're all touching, that'd make it easier actually,
Right.
and that you can make one contiguous allocation area. But here, it's so spread out all over the place that it makes more sense to say, okay, can we make one along 9 that combines a couple of these, so we get all of this area captured into that? That makes sense. Or on the south part of town, by the golf course and the willows, like you cross over 9 there. That makes sense. It doesn't make any sense for the north side, though, to be connected to where the golf course is, because there's so much distance in there. And on the east side of 9 to the downtown, the few buildings that you have in the downtown area.
Beacon does those maps. And I don't know if you guys have access that you can get it where it's more legible.
I don't know about more legible. What we can do is we can get it blown up. And then make it to a situation in which we can start marking on it. Once we mark on it and we know which parcels, then we can add different sort of shading and color coding to the next version.
And that's something you guys would do for us. So I don't have to do that. So
Well, if you want to do it,
I'm not that computer savvy.
I have an old school projector that we could put
It
against
would
the
take-
wall and then you.
It would take something like that, because
I mean, a mural of the allocation area that we'll never forget.
We can kill two
Yeah.
birds with
We
one stone.
We can take a shot at it and then do it. What we did happen.
sure, yeah, I don't want you to chase something.
Well, and
You
I-
got a lot of stuff you're doing. so.
And I think it would make
I'll
more
chase
sense for somebody who's familiar with the areas versus somebody who's not as familiar. You know what I'm saying? Like, to make sense of it.
I'll chase it for a minute. Okay, I got it.
Hey, Joel, we have a question over here. I'm taking questions from this side.
I have a little side thing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Penny asked about the parks. If they wanted to develop the parks, would that have to be an allocation area? But I'm wondering, with the park board in there too.
So that's different, because the park is not going to have any increment that spins off it. They don't pay taxes because it's non-taxable. And when you have a park board, they are the ones in control of that, and they get some of the tax levy. So their stuff should come from the tax levy to fund whatever things they have there. You can make an argument with the parks, kind of similar to police and fire, that, well, if we improve that, it really is a benefit for all of the different increment areas to allow growth there.
That's true.
You can make that argument. We'd have to make that the State Board of Accounts to get across the line. They're gonna want to make sure that you're using all of your tax levy first to do those sorts of projects.
Does the park board in charge of the skate park, or is that the city?
I think that's the park.
It is the park.
They,
We
they
talked about
should
that.
have the skate park, the dog park, the park out on, yes,
River Avenue.
yes. Harrison Park, Harrison Square, and then Gila.
They're all under the park board. Okay,
So,
okay.
The reason I ask, because the park is probably one of our assets.
Oh,
And so in order to, do some things there, that was the question.
Well, the reason I brought up the skate park is there is an extremely beautiful piece of property to the north of the skate park. And I don't know if anybody knows, but the Alexandria High School now has a soccer program for the boys and the girls, and so does St. Mary's. And so right now for soccer, we have to play out in the outfield at the Alexandria Youth League. So there's just not any space for us to have even any fields. So where the skate park is, and even north of that, I think it's a separate parcel. I think someone may own that separately, but even for that area, if it would be designated as like an allocation area, it could become like a sports complex, like soccer fields or something like that. Just because we have over 150 kids that come out on Saturday mornings right now. So from a demand standpoint, that would be something, I mean, if it was something working together with the park board, but that right there would benefit the community as well as make a piece of property something that it's not right now. So,
the skate park out there by LJ,
Belmont, yes,
okay, that, I'm sure Al Man owns that, Neil.
I think so.
Neil owns, no, and he does, him and there's a couple other,
Yeah.
is in on that too.
Yes, I know.
So-
I thought so.
So that's we talked to.
Oh, okay, well, maybe we could get a.
City owns,
Okay, I'll talk to him.
the city owns the land around the community center, and at one point in time, there was discussion of bringing the skate park there.
Right.
Would that maybe be an area to
It's
discuss?
not as big.
Okay,
It's not big enough. We need at least something that would be able to accommodate at least 4 to 5 fields.
Of course, the other, yeah,
And right now, yeah, there's just,
Eric Freeman is currently working, he's with Ellen Park Board, not on Park Board, he's doing a 5-year comp plan for us.
okay.
And he's what you want to bring him in, and I'll talk to
Okay.
him as well.
Yeah, if I could,
Yeah,
we could set up a meeting.
if I write a note, yes,
Okay,
you're on my list.
okay. So anyway, sorry, might not be.
No, that's good stuff. Sorry, I think
Anything else?
I took somebody on.
You're lacking from the city to help you out, or is there anything?
When we talk about the allocation areas, no, I mean, I think it's just getting to the point of, okay, where do we want to put these things and stuff? So we would be looking at properties that aren't currently in the allocation area, so you pass new ordinances, declaratory, confirmatory stuff, to set the new boundaries on. That thing's set up, you start collecting, go to the other side.
Okay, any questions about maybe that discussion?
So with me, Brian, whoever will take a shot, we'll take a shot at it.
I'll try it.
We'll take a shot at it.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll take a run at that, yeah.
So I'll talk about the downtown.
When that's part of that.
Well, that was part of that. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Nothing. That's fine. Yeah,
Any new business?
I have questions. Can I ask questions?
Yes, you
now?
may.
Can we vote, can this board vote by email? Okay, I'm on, the Mascai Foundation Board, and we had a property that we had a property that came up and you had to check a couple legal things and stuff. And say you got an answer that, I'm trying to avoid waiting a month to do things. So, okay, hey, we've got a bid for this. It looks good. It's reasonable. Can you put that out in an email chain and then respond to all? I do that on the foundation board, and I know it's way different, but can you do that?
No, not for municipal or governmental entities. So with the statutes, what it says is that all final action has to be taken in a public meeting.
That's being a public meeting. Okay. So then can we, I'll keep asking, can we have a text chain among us on a board to say, hey, reminder, there's a meeting tonight?
I think things like that are fine. Where it's gone back and forth on the public access counselor, and the new public access counselor is not very responsive to certain things, so you might be able to get away with a little bit more than in the past. But basically what Luke Britt did as a former public access counselor said, listen, if you have an email with all of the body on there, that's fine to just kind of give them information, even though that under the statute, that's still official action. It's not final action. Where the public access counselor has had a problem is if you're putting something out there, which is put out there to get feedback, immediately feedback from the commission, to kind of work towards a final answer, that becomes a meeting essentially, because you're exchanging information and ideas in real time. So that's where they had an issue. So I don't have an issue with you having a text chain or something like that to say, here's the meeting, or did everybody get the package?
Did you get your minutes? You know, yeah, that type of thing.
And that's fine. But if it's like, we got this issue and I think it's a good idea to try and spend this TIF money to go purchase the property so that soccer, does anybody else have any thoughts?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a problem.
And I can't say, oh, hey, I got this information on this tip area. Look at it and say, what area would you want to go at first? You can't
I
do
would-
things like that. So
I would-
it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, you can give the information out there saying, happy to, and looking forward to the discussion at the meeting.
Okay, here's the information I came up with. Here's a map Alan I made. Take a look at it. We'll discuss it at the meeting. There's a meeting coming up. Don't forget, we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z, the minutes and all that stuff. Okay.
Can I
You're trying to figure out how to
back onto that?
cut.
I know the school board, we have had, throughout the year, maybe like an afternoon meeting where we come together and because there is so much to
Yeah,
do,
months a long
like a,
time.
planning, like where are we going 2026, a lot of things. So is that something we could do?
You would have to, yeah, you can schedule a meeting at any time, a special call.
And
you
for a
just-
longer length, any length of time?
Yeah,
and
just you
so
need
we could
48
get-
hours notice.
Just
so-
as long as we get that public
Yeah,
notice.
so that 48 hours notice.
Like a
And so
planning
everybody knows
session.
it's not 48 hours notice in a newspaper. It is, you have to let the newspapers know
Correct.
48 hours
Yeah,
in
yeah,
advance that you're going to have a meeting and this is what it's going to
So maybe trying to do something like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because this a month just seems like an eternity. They get,
Well,
Keep
and,
stuff
and
moving.
even the time, but to really have time to brainstorm and think through things and
right,
to maybe do an afternoon together.
okay.
Yeah.
How many can meet? You can meet two?
No, we can all meet.
I mean,
be.
it's,
asking without publishing.
yeah, without publishing. Yeah, you can meet with two people.
Yeah.
Oh.
just three.
Lindsay and I are going to meet. We're going to talk about this. The parks, that's not a big thing. It's no more than three.
Three right now. You have another person. Well, that'd be.
You still come as a whole? Okay.
I'm not a voting member, so can I meet with everybody?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ken.
Oh,
Yeah.
if,
let's
if
say-
it was if she was the third though? That-
It's still because because she's not a voting member,
It-
no official, you can't reach a consensus amongst the three of you that would control a vote.
Okay, so you get to go to every meeting.
She could be on.
Bummer.
I
Shouldn't have said anything. Okay.
Any other discussion?
And this, those, on this, outside of this meeting, same thing applies city council too, that we just element mentions. The only other thing we had that did we decide on a public comment type thing? Did we vote on that? I can't
That
remember.
one, we tabled it from last month, I believe.
Yeah, and I think I was supposed to bring you back something.
Put that in the minutes. Put that in the minutes.
Is that about asking about?
No,
The city
rules on
council,
Public comment.
yeah, the city council has a thing, okay, you can come to the city council and talk. Here's your time limit
Yeah,
and stay on.
the
subject.
board has that same
Kind
thing.
of stay on. I think it makes sense for us just to be consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm sure legal will appreciate that too, so that you're not having to know what matrix I gotta go by.
Yeah, school board has that thing. You can't name anybody. You can't,
Yeah.
just kind of those guidelines gotta stay with them.
Yeah, okay, but I think we should be consistent with whatever council's doing for make life easy for everybody.
So maybe I'll just change what the city council has approved.
Yeah, I think it's, okay. I think there's any further comment. Okay, those are all my questions. Right.
Any other general comments? Seeing none, guess we're, next meeting is October 22nd, I think.
October 22nd.
Same place, same time.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a second? All in favor, say aye. We are adjourned. Thank you for your service.
Thank you all. Thank you, Bill. Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
See where, I'm just gonna let it go here. See where it says end event.
That's.
When you're done, just hit end event.
I say that.
There you go. Hey, I'll get to work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a scout. So I'll see you around soon.
Yeah, we'll get together and.
Talk to you soon.
see if we can do,
All right.
Do we,
There's another one. All right, there you go. Hey,
Let somebody hang in my-
guys are doing a great job.
You too.
Peace.
Oh, I am the president. I want to be able to do, but I was like, well, wait, no, Mike, I thought he was gonna stick around.
Please.
Help us out. It is 6:04 on Monday, September 22nd. We'll call the Alexandria Planning Commission to order. We'll start with roll call. Christina Long. Present. Lynette Frazee.
Present.
Lindsay Cuneo is present. Donna Kerr. Present. Deb Smith.
Present.
Sarah Collis.
Present.
All right, we'll note that city attorneys are here and our building commissioner. We do have a quorum. Approval of minutes from last month's meeting. Christina sent those out. Does anybody have any corrections for those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Sarah, second by Deb. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, moving on to old business, I suppose. Do we have any old business here with our planning commission board?
There is a, I did buy sell John's Diner. Okay,
Okay.
and it's the gentleman at West, Street. He bought it. And I don't know what he's got plans yet, plans to do with it or anything like that. Nothing we have. Let's see, there's a lot down here at 201 Harrison.
Uh-huh.
The front of that building's falling
It's
apart.
falling apart. I've
I
noticed
know,
that.
and I have called him, made phone calls to his engineer and everything. The glove factory, he's supposed to be taking care of that roof. I haven't seen anything yet from him on that. And I got emails from him just last week. Okay. There's a lot of yards that's being cleaned up and mowed. Thank God we didn't have no rain for a while. You know.
Right.
They got that all done. Not all of it, a lot of it. We have a house that's wanting to be built out on Farrington Place. Okay. I've been dealing with that covenant. They're saying that the covenant is not any good out there, that it was never voted on or anything. Okay, now I know I went to new business there, but, let's see, there's,
So is that something that we would have to do? Like, how would that be
Well,
resolved?
what he's got to do is bring me a set of prints, okay? Once the covenant, when I found out the covenant is not there and there's not a, nobody in the area votes on any homes or anything or how the home is supposed to be built out there. So he's got to bring me a set of prints. The square footage is, that he's wanting to do is like 1,400 square feet, which is a small home for that area. So I haven't talked to him today, but I'm gonna talk to him about seeing if he can bring up the square footage of it a little bit. You can't be over 35 feet tall out there from ground up. That's just something I've got to work on, you know, okay. Another one, 217 South Canal. He's wanting to rebuild there. And they're supposed to be bringing me a set of prints for that.
Was that the house they tore down from the plant?
That's the house they tore down behind the fire station. When it's got the hill and stuff. 1307 Canal. North Canal. They're building a new home there. Okay. I'm just kind of giving you guys a round figure. I know you guys that keep thinking that, you know, we keep going on old business and this and that, but there is a ton that is going on. Poet's building their storage building out there. You know, I've got to go out there and inspect that, inspect these buildings, inspect all the permits. I'm real busy.
You are.
Overwhelming busy.
You are.
Okay. And, so if you guys have any questions, please text me, email me. Something, you know, I know there's a lot of stuff on the permit, you know, some people have complained about permits, but that is, to me, that is a, how do I want to say it? Because me and you talked, I mean, because I know it's construction. I know it's an upgrade in the home. I know if I buy a home, I want it to have a new roof on it. You know, and if we don't put new roofs on, we don't charge for a permit. Then when I go out, you know, I don't have the right to tell them that's wrong. You've got to tear that decking off. You got to replace it. And I've done that several times where they was wanting to leave stuff and I had them tear it off and replace it on the flashing. They tear off the flashing 9 times out of 10, that wood's going to be rotted. Okay, so on the permits, I believe that the city needs to keep the permits going with everything, anything over $1,000. I believe they need to keep that going.
Even if it's an act of nature?
Well, if you get hail damage, believe it or not, your roof really is not leaking. Okay?
Yeah.
But if they choose to replace it, you're replacing that roof and you're going back with a new. Plus, you're changing things when you change decking. A lot of the homes have completely been redecked because they got 1x2 boards on them,
Sure.
you know, so I mean, that's a big,
Yeah, some people have tried to take advantage. I understand that, but I just didn't understand a building permit for an act of nature.
well,
It's not something.
if somebody,
choose.
if it comes through and they, let's say the winds come through and they knock a house down, you know,
Mhm.
I still have to inspect that to make sure that it's right,
Sure.
okay? And the city pays me to do that. So we
I
have
a
to,
question,
Yeah.
just with the amount of damage that we've had over this last few months. From a capacity standpoint, do you feel like there's too much work for you at this point? Do you, I mean, just from an insurance perspective, we have been on,
swamp.
yes, to put that mildly.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine the amount that you feel like you're under, especially with the permits and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So is that something that, that you could maybe, like, is there some extra work maybe that?
I have it worked out. We've got certain contractors, okay? I get a picture, send me a picture, because if I'm on this side of the town, you call me, you're ready for an inspection, send me a picture of that decking.
Mhm.
I want to see it. And then I'll text them and say, it's okay, go ahead and start putting ice and water shield on,
Okay,
okay? Or I'll be there to look at it. That doesn't look good,
okay.
you see?
Yeah, I just didn't know if
I
it's,
think-
I mean, because it's a lot
Yeah.
to expect for one person to
For
do.
one
I
person,
think
yes,
that's, yeah.
It's
From a,
been overwhelming.
I can imagine.
Honestly. But I think it's gonna slow down because of the hail damage is slowing down. I mean, we have splurts that I might do 10 or 15 or 20 permits.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But yes, I agree with you that it has been. I think for what, and to really be plain with you guys, for what I make, okay? I'm going way and above, okay? I'm not sitting where you're sitting right now because of that. I'm really being honest. Okay? But yeah, if I could get help, that would be great because I could have people sending out letters.
Yeah.
Okay, to these buildings. And tell me what you think. If these guys would put an ordinance violation on a door, say you drive by a house, you guys see it. No? Okay. Okay.
We aren't allowed.
Handle
So
that, guys.
if there's a way that we can advocate for you, I think that's kind of where I'm coming from, is that I think if it sounds like it is, a lot is being expected of you, so.
Yes.
And, you know, I really could use some help with the grass. Okay, and that type stuff.
Have you asked the mayor?
Huh?
Have you asked the mayor?
We've talked about it and I'm still talking about it.
And can Stephanie help you with some of the paperwork stuff? Does she?
Stephanie's helping me out, but guys, I gotta, when it slows down a bit, I gotta have time to come up with a special letter to send to them. And we have some letters, okay? But I want, some of it, I would like to revamp them a little bit, you know, to make it a little more, this is the way it's going to be. And if you don't, within 10 days, we're gonna send you, you know, another letter. And after that, we're done. Am I in the ballpark?
Is that something that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking.
Put together for him?
Yeah, I mean, we could draft out
Generic,
certain templates of certain things depending upon what
what it's for.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
each
and that-
situation is going to be different.
okay,
Sure, absolutely, absolutely.
especially like on the old homes that are falling down. You know, I believe that's something that we need to get right on top of, get some letters out and get it going. And after so many, after he tells me exactly, then here it is, you know, and he takes it and runs with it. And we go to court or whatever we gotta do.
Well, we appreciate all the hard work you're putting in and we know you're going above and beyond.
Absolutely.
We've seen more from you in 3 months than we've
Yes.
seen.
From any of the building commissioners prior to, so.
Well, now, and I wanna be a part of Alec, you know, I wanna make it what it used to be, you know, and I think we can, but we've got to, everybody's gotta work together to make it happen.
This man is out roaming the streets every time I go through town. He's looking at something.
Well, or I'm running.
Running for something.
We can, yes.
No, but I mean, there's just a lot that's going on, and I can't sit here and tell you guys everything that's happening, because I get phone calls all day. You heard my phone a while ago. I went outside. You know, I mean, it's constant.
I did have a, oh, go ahead. Can I have a question on that?
Yeah.
I'm going back to, the selling of John Steiner. I thought that was a building that was caving in or something like that.
Which one was this?
John Steiner.
The one you said
John
was sold?
The brick on top had fell off the front. Okay? And I talked to them and they went over and picked it up. Well, then it fell again. Okay, so now the gentleman just bought it. He went over and cleaned it up. And he's supposed to be getting loose brick off the top, just like I said before. Okay, but so now somebody else is doing it. And he's supposed to restructure that top. Now I'm waiting. You know, I gotta wait and see if he does it. I give him a couple days, and after that, you know, then I gotta go another route.
Is he gonna make it another restaurant?
He was thinking, he's like this.
And you said West Street, so it's not the same man that did those apartments.
The apartments over there, and those look nice.
They were really
You know,
nice,
they look, you know. they look
especially
nice.
compared to what they used to be.
Right, yeah. And me and him, you know, I mean, we've worked together on, I can't tell anybody how to do their colors, but he's changed them around a little bit where it looks better than it was. You know,
Gotcha.
Good job on
That
your
makes sense.
influence. Nice job. All right, thank you for sharing that. Are there any other comments or anything that we need from our attorneys? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Deb's motion, second by Donna. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will see you next month, October 22nd at 6 p.m.-ish, following redevelopment.
6 p.m.-ish.
Yes, PM-ish. Oh, yeah, if you want to. Yellow button.
We did not know.
Run off, you gotta sign the paper.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, no problem.
Yeah, it was
Did
good.
it?
Monday, but
Okay.
maybe they were.
Oh,
Okay.
That's still
Gotta
taping.
sign. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, we got a sign.
It looks like it still is though.
because I
Lindsay,
was told that.
It looks like it is.
Oh.
It does, but it is the homeowners association. That
Oh.
is not. Yeah, we are not the enforcement arm of homeowners.